Hello everyone. Can you hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. So good morning, sir.
Good morning. Is this board visible?
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay, good. So we started magnetism from the last class. Right. And the first term that we define, which we use everywhere in this case, magnetization, which is magnetic moment per unit volume. So the stronger the magnetic moment per unit volume, stronger is the effect of that material. Okay. Now let us put some material in magnetic field. Okay. But the magnetic field inside, let us say this is B. This B can be less than B naught. This can be greater than B naught also. Okay. It is less than B naught means the magnetic field inside the sample is opposite to applied field. It actually means that induced magnetic field is opposite to applied. Right. So what really happens is we applied B naught, some opposite field is created M, and finally we get this B, which is less than B naught. If B is greater than B naught, this actually means induced field is along applied field, right? These materials are called diamagnetic. And these materials are paramagnetic or ferromagnetic. Paramagnetic and ferromagnetic. So first of all, how do we need a mechanism to characterize this material? I mean, let us say we have two diamagnetic material and they are different. How do we characterize them, that which one is more stronger diamagnetic than other one? So we use some term which is called susceptibility. Magnetic susceptibility. And we usually represent it by some symbol chi. We also define magnetic permeability, which is defined by some symbol mu. What are these? So we can characterize magnetic materials using these symbols. So the usual phenomena is something like this. We applied some field. This is applied field. Some field is induced. This or this. This is induced field. and accordingly we get some final field inside the system. It may be smaller or it may be bigger than the applied field. This is the final magnetic field inside the material. Okay. So we usually represent applied field by this symbol H. And let me tell you, this is not magnetic field. This is related to magnetic field, but magnetic field nahi. Okay. How do we represent induced field? The best choice is M, the magnetization, magnetic moment per unit volume. And this is the final field that we will get. This we represent by the usual symbol, magnetic field. Okay. So let us discuss these symbols one by one. H is obviously H represents the field which we are applying. H उस field को represent करता है जो हम apply करते हैं. And how do we create a magnetic field? By using some current. And the field that we create is given by this formula, which is Weierstrass formula. Mu naught upon 4 pi, current is I. This is some small current element at some distance r, right? 4 pi is a constant. I is something that we can control. DL is the element of the wire where we are flowing this current. R cap or this R represent the distance. So all the parameters are in our control except this one. It depends on which medium we are using. Now you can see the medium is changing. Outside we have air and here we have material, right? So obviously the magnetic field here will be different. Magnetic field here is different. So this quantity has two parts. One part is in our control. इसका एक part तो है जो हम control कर सकते हैं. It has another part which is controlled by the environment. So this is B. What is H now? H is simply drop this mu naught also. Now it has everything which is in our control. What is the name of it? Slightly different name. Magnetic field strength. But now this quantity has nothing to do with environment. All the parameters are there which we can tune according to our choice. So this is H. And if we want to calculate magnetic field from H, formula is simple. B is equal to mu naught H in air, or B is equal to mu H in a material, right? What about M? Obviously M is always in some material because it is induced field. What about B? B is the final field now. What is the connection between all these quantities? B
equal to H plus M.
Yes.
B is equal to H plus M.
Yes. Any doubt? Is anyone asking something? So what connections do we have? Let us first discuss connection between M and H. So H depends on the current we are applying. So we can increase or decrease H according to our choice. What is M? M is the induced field inside the material. If we apply a strong field, M will also be stronger. If we apply a big field, the induced magnetic field will also be small. So one thing is certain that M in magnitude is proportional to H, right? Or we say M is equal to chi H. So chi is equal to M upon H. And this is called magnetic susceptibility. Okay. What about connection between B and H? So B is the magnetic field inside the material, right? How much it is? ये किसके बराबर होगा? This is equal to applied field times mu naught H, and it has contribution from this induced field also, right? Plus mu naught M or mu naught H plus M. We also know B is mu H. We can directly calculate magnetic field if we know the permeability of sample.
नाम में डाल दिया हाँ हाँ पानी में डाल दिया गलती छूट गया हमने डाल दिया गलती छूट गया
Okay. So this is mu naught H plus M. Okay. Can we find any connection between all these quantities? Yes. Mu H is equal to mu naught H. M is equal to chi H, right? Or mu naught 1 plus chi H. H cancels. Mu is equal to mu naught 1 plus chi. So these parameters are connected to each other, and this is expected also. Once we know any parameter which is connected external field to the internal field, we can calculate all the quantities. So this formula gives us connection between what is going outside the material and what is going inside the material. This mu also represents the same thing in a different manner, and that is why these two things are connected. What is the value of chi for diamagnets? Positive or negative?
Negative.
Negative.
For diamagnetic material? Obviously, B is less than applied field. It simply means chi is negative. For paramagnetic materials, guys, just give me a few seconds. Whereas for paramagnetic materials, the thing is just opposite. It is B greater than mu naught H, or chi is positive. So this is something which we frame without doing any mathematics here, without going inside the material. ये सब हमने सिर्फ डिफाइन किया है from the experimental observations. किस तरह के observations? That as we increase the external field, जैसे हम field को बढ़ाते हैं, the internal magnetization also increase, and it is proportional. So we define the proportionality constant, right? So all these things are somewhat experimental, but we still do not know why is chi negative. Chi negative क्यों है? Does it depend on temperature? क्या temperature पे depend करेगा? What parameters does it depend on? कोई और parameters है जिस पे depend कर सकता है? So there are many things to answer, right? And in order to answer these things, इन सभी को answer करना है, we need to know how is this M developed. Magnetization samples के अंदर बनता कैसे? Okay. So what are the possible source of magnetization in material? Whenever there is a magnetic field, there has to be only one source. Magnetization का एक ही source है. What is that? Current. Now, what are the source of current? There can be many sources of current. One is electrons moving in orbits, or electrons spinning about their own axis. Means, in this case, let us say this is the nucleus, positive core. The electrons are rotating around this positive core. Okay. Other sources, we have one electron, and this electron is rotating around its own axis. So this is like Earth moving around Sun. It takes 365 days. That is like electron moving in orbit. The second case is like Earth rotating around its own axis in 24 hours. Okay. So these are the two possible sources of current. And let me tell you in advance. This contributes to diamagnetism. कैसे करेगा? We will discuss. This contributes to paramagnetism. Okay.
Sir,
Yes.
how does a spinning electron produces current?
How does spinning electron contributes to uh, magnetism?
Sir, how does it produces current? Can you explain in brief?
See, these charges are not always point charges. Charges कभी भी point charges नहीं होते हैं. You can think of it like a spinning sphere. This is a sphere of some radius r, and it is spinning around its own axis. Okay. So this charge 1.6 into 10 to the minus 19. You can think that this much charge is distributed on a very small sphere of some very small radius, right? And since this sphere is spinning, you can assume that the small charges are going along some circular path. आप मान सकते हैं कि ये सारे charges एक circular path पर move कर रहे हैं. There is no concept of point charge. Point charge is just a hypothetical concept. It can never happen in real life. Point charge का concept real life में हो ही नहीं सकता. Okay.
Okay, sir, then it's fine. I thought it's a point charge, then how can it produce a electron?
No. In fact, mass can exist without charge. Mass एक बार के लिए charge के बिना exist कर सकता है. But charge does not exist without mass. So whenever there is a charge, there has to be some mass there. Or in other words, you cannot have a point charge in any case. Point charge जैसा concept सिर्फ hypothetically सही है to make your calculations easy. In real life, you do not have point charges.
Okay, sir.
So both the concepts can contribute to magnetism because both are equivalent to some current. So let us focus first this diamagnetism case. How does it produce magnetism, and why the magnetic effect produced by this method are opposite to applied field? कैसे से magnetic field बनता है और क्यों ये magnetic field applied field के opposite है? So we are going to take very simple, very easy case, which is like we have this positive nucleus. How much charge is there? There are the number of protons. So this much is the charge on this positive nucleus. And let us assume that a electron is moving in a circular orbit. It can move clockwise or anti-clockwise, doesn't really matter. And let us assume this is moving at some distance r from the nucleus. So for simplicity, we are assuming it's a circular orbit, and let us say this velocity is b. Then we know that it needs some centripetal force to move in a circular orbit, and this centripetal force is mv square upon r. This is equal to, obviously this is coming from the interaction between these two. Right. Let me find the angular velocity of this electron. So b is equal to r omega, or omega is equal to b upon r. Okay. So m b square, let me write it r square omega square upon r z e square upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Okay. So what we get from here? Let us calculate omega. So 1 r cancel. This r goes to this side, becomes r cube. Okay. So let me call it omega naught square. So this is the angular velocity of the electron moving in a circular orbit. It doesn't really matter which side does it go, clockwise or anti-clockwise. The angular velocity will remain same for this radius. Now I am going to apply a magnetic field on this atom. So right now there is no magnetic field. Okay. Now I am going to apply a magnetic field here. Direction. Okay. So let me draw the same figure again. This is positive core, and around this positive core the electron is moving in a circular orbit, right? So this is the electron. Let us assume it is moving in clockwise direction. Okay. What is the direction of magnetic moment here? मैग्नेटिक मोमेंट की डायरेक्शन क्या होगी? So magnetic moment is equal to I times A. I is equal to E upon, we calculated last time, charge divided by time. Time means 2 pi r upon V. A means pi r square. Direction?
सर अंदर की तरफ होगी.
Inwards.
This or this?
की तरफ.
Cross
Yes.
or dot?
Cross.
It is cross, right? Because I is anti-clockwise. Electron is moving clock. I is going anti-clock. Okay. So I is clockwise, and therefore it is along this direction. This is initial magnetic moment when there was no magnetic field. Now we are applying magnetic field in the same direction. How many forces are there on this electron? One is attractive force, same as before. F Coulomb force. Any other force? इसके अलावा और भी कोई forces पर? What is the force due to this magnetic field? Is it along the Coulomb force or opposite to Coulomb force?
Opposite the Coulomb force.
So Q times V cross V, right? Now it is negative charge, so positive is going downward, opposite, right? So this is Lorentz force, right? Obviously now electron will move according to these two forces. So the net centripetal force is this one, same as before, minus this Lorentz force. How much it is? Q means E. V, how much is V? Whatever it is, cross B. Okay. What is the angular velocity now? अब angular velocity कितनी हो जाएगी? Let us calculate it. So first of all, let me convert it to omega. mr omega square minus is equal to ze square upon e r b omega. Okay, so we have omega square constant omega. So let me write it in this way. So this is a quadratic equation in omega. How many solution does it have? 2. क्या solution होंगे वो? So this is one constant A, this is another constant B, this is third constant C. So we have equation like ax square plus bx plus c. What is x from this equation? I think minus b by 2a plus minus this is the answer, right? So do the same thing here. वही यहाँ पे भी करना है आपने. Instead of x we have omega minus b means erb upon 2mr. Do we have minus here? I think plus minus b square, so 1 upon 2a again means 1 upon 2mr. B square means this, minus 4, a means mr, c means this quantity with minus sign, so we have ze square upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square. That's very complicated thing, but let me still solve it further. Omega is equal to minus, this cancels, ev upon 2m. Any success from here? Let us see what we get. So let me bring this 2mr inside. So when I take it inside, it will become 4m square r square. So I get e square b square upon 4m square here. 4 cancels. I will get 1 upon m r ze square upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square. Can we identify this? Okay, identify कर पा रहे हम? This is, you can see, ze square 4 pi epsilon naught m r cube. So let me write it in this way. Omega is equal to minus ev upon 2m plus ev upon 2m का square plus omega naught square. Can I further simplify it? इसको और simplify कर सकते हैं. Let us see. This is plus minus. is equal to this is now nearly is equal to amount of this is provided when omega naught is less. No, omega naught cannot be less. Let me see, just 1 minute. This is we are writing when omega naught upon EB by 2 m is less, means omega naught is less. This is not the right way. Minus EB upon 2m plus minus to sorry, omega naught is greater than EB by 2m. Because omega naught is the fundamental frequency. Omega naught तो वो frequency है जो पहले से है, and it is now going to change because of the external field. So this frequency is always greater than this. It means that omega naught upon EB upon 2m is greater than 1. So we are going to write like this: omega naught 1 plus EB upon 2m divided by omega naught square half. Okay. So what we get now? Nearly equal. Now this quantity is less than 1, so we can take first order approximation only. I mean, we are going to ignore other quantities. Okay. So what are we getting now? And what is the order of this quantity? Plus minus half EV upon 2m square upon omega naught. This quantity is extremely small with all this quantity. I can simply say omega is nearly equal to plus minus omega naught minus EV by 2m. So what is the next angular frequency of this electron? Magnetic field लगाने के बाद this is the next frequency. One answer is omega naught minus EV upon 2m means decreased from initial value, and other answer is minus omega naught minus EV by 2m, increase and change its direction. So which answer is correct in this case? इस केस में कौन सा आंसर करेक्ट है? If you see this problem, when we have only Coulomb force, it was moving with angular velocity omega naught. Now we have one more force in the opposite side, or we have reduced the centripetal force. Accordingly, means centripetal force has now reduced. Means m r omega square reduced, or omega reduced, right? So this is the right answer here. So this is the new angular velocity of the electron. इससे क्या होगा? When there was no magnetic field, what was the magnetic moment? Some constant value, direction, this. When d is not equal to 0, now it is some other value, direction, same. And this m is less than m naught. What we see, as we apply the magnetic field, जैसे हमने magnetic field लगाया, the magnetic moment has now reduced. Magnetic moment पहले से कम हो गया, right? But let us assume that electron is moving clockwise. I mean, this is the case. So we have positive core here, and instead of anti-clock rotation, I am assuming that electron is moving in the clockwise direction. This way. Coulomb force is still in this direction. What is the direction of Lorentz force? Parallel to Coulomb or opposite to Coulomb? Now you can see this Lorentz force again. This time it is parallel to just guys give me few seconds. So this Lorentz force is in this direction, right? What does it mean? इसका क्या मतलब हुआ? The magnetic moment will now increase. So please do the calculation again. You will get plus sign here. You will get plus sign here. Plus here. What is the next angular frequency? अब angular frequency कितनी आएगी? Let me write directly here. Omega is equal to omega naught plus EV upon 2m. Okay. When B was 0, how much is the magnetic field? How much is the magnetic moment? M naught. Direction? When B is not is equal to 0, M is equal to M. Direction? This. And this M is greater than m naught. So what conclusion do we get? क्या conclusion मिला हमको इन दोनों बातों से? Let me draw it like this. When v was 0, we have anti-clockwise moving electron. We have clockwise moving electron. Magnetic moment is this. The magnetic moment of this is this. Same magnitude, opposite directions. Now d is not is equal to 0. Direction, what is magnetic moment here? M. Direction this. Okay. What is magnetic moment here? Let me call it M1. This becomes M2. Direction downward but bigger vector. So what we see, those who are moving anti-clockwise, their magnetic moment is decreasing, and those who are moving clockwise, their magnetic moment is opposite and it's increasing. Can I say magnetic moment in the direction of field is decreasing? Right? So for both the cases, whether it is clockwise rotation or anti-clockwise rotation, the magnetic moment is always decreasing in the direction of applied field. That is the reason that when you apply a magnetic field on a diamagnetic material, the inside magnetic moment is reduced. Okay. So when B is 0, we have all sort of vectors. Let us say we have 1000 atoms. हमारे पास 1000 atoms है. So roughly 500 atoms have vectors up. मान लीजिए उसमें 500 के vectors up हैं. Remaining 500 will have vector down. But when I apply magnetic field, those who are having vector up, they are still up, but their size is now reduced. And those who are having vector down, their size is now increased. What was the initial overall magnetic moment? 0. What is the initial overall magnetic moment now? Because this size has reduced, this size has increased. So if you now take the total sum, it will be opposite to magnetic field. That is the reason that when you put a diamagnetic material inside magnetic field, the magnetic moment created in this material is opposite to applied field. Okay. Any doubt here? या तो कोई doubt है आपको? Anyone, please?
Sir, can you please explain the last line?
All right. See, let us say we did not apply any field. There is no magnetic field. It means there are millions of atoms in the sample, and each atom has many electrons in various orbit. Some electrons are moving clockwise, some are moving anti-clockwise, right? We can assume that the numbers of electrons moving clock and the numbers of atoms moving anti-clock are roughly equal. There is no problem in this assumption, right? So when there is no magnetic field, the overall magnetic moment is how much? Roughly 0, because they cancel each other. But when I apply magnetic field, what we see, the magnetic moments which are parallel, they are still in the same direction, but their size, their magnitude has now decreased. क्यों decrease कर गया? Because m is proportional to omega and omega decrease in this case. M is proportional to I is proportional to omega. What about here? Those magnetic moments which are opposite to field, now they are bigger in size. ये size में क्यों बढ़ गए हैं? Because again same thing, and for these electrons, now since centripetal force is more, they get higher velocity. What is the overall sum now? Is it still equal to 0?
No, sir.
And you can see what is the net direction. It is opposite to magnetic field, right? So that is the reason that a diamagnetic material produce an opposite magnetic field. Now, any one of you asked this question in last class. All the materials are magnetic. Yes, all the materials are magnetic. Why? This phenomena is true in all cases. ये जो भी कुछ डिस्कस किया जा रहा है, ये हर जगह होना है. It is true for every sample you can have, whether it is wood, iron, anything you can have. All these things are consist of atoms and electrons, and this phenomena will occur with all materials. Means all materials are diamagnetic in some sense. सभी material diamagnetic होते हैं. Okay. Yes, in some cases this effect is more prominent. Other cases से ज़्यादा इनका effect होता है. In some materials, other effects are dominant over diamagnetic. जैसे wood को लेंगे, it has only diamagnetic effect. It does not show any paramagnetic or ferromagnetic. So we can say wood is diamagnetic. But if we take iron, यदि आप iron लेंगे, it is also diamagnetic. ये भी diamagnetic है. But ferromagnetic effect is much higher than diamagnetic. The ferromagnetic effect is so high that you can always ignore diamagnetic effect with respect to ferromagnetic. So by birth, by nature, all materials are diamagnetic. But yes, this effect is extremely small. The magnetization generated by this effect is small. Or magnetization in diamagnetic material is small. Okay. How much is the magnetization? कितना magnetization होगा? We can calculate that also. उसको भी calculate किया जा सकता है. How much is the change in magnetic moment? कितना magnetic moment में change आया? So M is equal to current into area, right? Current means electron moving divided by time taken area. कितना टाइम ले रहा है? It is traveling 2 pi r distance in with b speed. Area is pi r square. So it is EV r upon 2. Okay. EV r cancels only r plus. Or E r square omega upon 2. So this is the magnetic moment. And when I apply magnetic field, जब magnetic field apply कर दिया, what is the magnetic moment now? E r square omega upon 2. What is omega minus omega naught? You can see omega minus omega naught is this. EV upon 2m. Okay. So how much is the change in magnetic moment? I mean, how much is the generated magnetic moment? E r square upon 2 delta omega, which is okay. So this is the magnetic moment generated in presence of magnetic field. Okay. And this is generated by one atom. And if we know how, if we know total numbers of atoms in unit volume, we can calculate total magnetization also. But we still have one problem. एक problem अभी भी है. This is the answer when B is parallel or anti-parallel to M. Means the orbit is perpendicular to magnetic field. So what we actually assumed here, that this is an orbit and magnetic field is perpendicular to it. We can have a situation like this also. This is magnetic field. This is the orbit. The orbit is making some angle with the magnetic field. What will we do in this case? इस case में आप क्या करेंगे? So obviously this formula will get slightly modified. What kind of modification we get? So this R will get modified. So this is the actual R. ये तो actual R है. What is the effective R? Effective R क्या होगा? The projection of this R on the xy plane. Okay. So let me tell you what exactly is the R. If B is along Z and orbit is not in xy plane, then actual radius is let me call it r naught square is how much? X square plus y square plus z square. effective radius, let me call it r square, is equal to projection of r naught in xy plane. How much it is? Simply x square plus y square. What I'm saying is this is z axis. So magnetic field axis is this. And the orbit has this shape. It is circular, but it is not perpendicular to it. So we see what is the perpendicular section of this orbit. इस orbit का perpendicular section क्या होगा? Okay, so we just take projection of this orbit. So what is the size of this orbit? This much. So we can calculate r square from actual orbit using this connection. But we need to know this x, y, z and the other things, right? Let me make one more approximation. If orbits are spherically symmetric, then x square का एवरेज, y square का एवरेज, z square का एवरेज is roughly same, right? So let me calculate average r square. R naught square average is x square average y square average z square average. Just give me 1 minute. And r square average is x square average plus y square average. This is 3x square average. This is 2x square average. Or I can say r square average is equal to how much? 2 by 3 r naught square. Okay. So I'll use this formula to generalize it for what I will use this formula to generalize the same formula for every orbit. ये तो है सिर्फ उस ऑर्बिट के लिए जो परपेंडिकुलर है फील्ड पे. Now I will modify this r square to include all the orbits which are not perpendicular to it. अब जो perpendicular नहीं है हम उनको भी include कर सकते हैं using this connection. Okay, so that we will do in the next class. Any doubt up to here? So let me end this class now. Whatever is your doubt, I'll address in the next class.
Thank you, sir.